Hey everybody, it's Stefan here on GenderqueerChat. Sorry it's been a little bit. I was out of town for a little while for the Transforming Gender conference at CU Boulder. So I was up in Colorado. And it was pretty cool. I got to meet a lot of the kids from the Colorado area and see what they're doing in terms of trans activism and stuff, and also got to hear some speakers. Marcy Bowers was there, and Dean Spade, and so yeah, it was pretty cool. Um, and so, as the topic this week, I wanted to take a little bit from Dean Spade's presentation and talk about marriage a little bit. He has kind of a more radical view on marriage, similar to I think his stuff might even be in that new book that came out that was basically queer people who don't like same-sex marriage, right? Basically, um, and so your initial well, my initial reaction to that is like, oh no, where's our solidarity, blah blah blah. But then I thought it was really great to listen to his arguments, and I agree with a lot of what he says. In a nutshell, I mean, you can check out his stuff at deanspade.com. I think Kate Bornstein speaks a lot about this as well. But basically, in a nutshell, his argument was that the whole system of marriage, right, is patriarchal and oppressive and racist and biased towards certain kinds of families and all of that. So instead of fighting for gay marriage, we should be fighting for things like doing anti-racist work and universal health care and things like that. And his worry is that when you reform the system, such as allowing same-sex marriage, you're normalizing just the most privileged section of an underprivileged group. So marriage will be accessible for lots of middle class white gays and lesbians, right? Um, and not necessarily taking into account like those racial issues or poverty issues and things like that. So um, I do agree a lot with what he says. The only thing is he argues that we shouldn't be fighting for gay marriage at all at this point, and we should be focusing ourselves on those other underlying issues. But I kind of feel that the same-sex marriage movement has already gained so much momentum that it's really just a matter of time. Maybe the next few years before that passes. So I don't really see it as a good move to not fight for that anymore, just because it's on the board already. It's probably going to happen nationwide fairly soon, and if the same people who are fighting for gay marriage don't come with us to fight for these other issues, then I don't know. Then it sucks. But I think like stopping the gay marriage movement and moving it towards something else isn't really practical either at this point. Um, so so I've considered myself kind of anti-marriage growing up just because I didn't think that getting married was a gay thing to do. Um, I mean, when I first came out, like queer people didn't get married. So I just never thought that it was a possibility. And so I kind of took more of like, a radical um, feminist, fuck the patriarchy kind of stance. But now that I'm kind of, in a stable partnership and, thinking about kids in the near future and things like that, I find myself being a little bit more of a fan of marriage just because if the same-sex marriage stuff passes, like we can have a lot of those protections that we can't get now or that we can only get by doing a million paperworks and you know some of that stuff we can do for free, but some of the more um, some of the stuff, especially like concerning kids and stuff like that, we'll need to hire a lawyer to look at our paperwork and stuff, make sure it's good. Um, so I don't think it's fair that that heterosexual couples can get married and gay couples can't. Um, and it would be really great if we didn't have marriage, if we had some sort of other system of just like everybody having civil partnerships or something like that, and just leaving the whole marriage, religion, that stuff out of it. Like if two people want to start a home together, they should be able to enter some sort of legally binding agreement that allows, all of those rights and privileges and stuff like that. Um, I don't really feel like I need marriage to, validate my relationship, but I do want to have those protections, especially for my children, in the future. So, I'm kind of, the whole marriage thing is really stupid. And I really prefer the term gender blind marriage as opposed to same sex or gay marriage because I find it more accurate and more inclusive of alternate gender expressions and things like that. Um, because the like untold story of the same sex or gay marriage movement is all the trans people who can't get married even though they've transitioned or whatever. Like that just throws a whole another wrench into the system and shows why it's stupid. So um so yeah, so that's my 2 cents on marriage. And just doing a little bit of catch up from the last 2 weeks. The week prior we talked about childhood stuff that was gendered and annoying. And the first thing I thought of was Happy Meal at McDonald's. There was a long time where it was you can get a Hot Wheels or a Barbie, and I always wanted the Hot Wheels because Barbies were stupid. And so luckily I had a mom who was like, whatever, you can get what you want. But the whole gendered toys thing is just really dumb, I think. And pink and blue and you know um why don't you just give all the babies green hats? It's not that big of a deal. um yeah, so gendered toys are really annoying, and especially when we had to go to the restroom or whatever, or go on a field trip, or get organized in any way. Like the first thing is like, okay, boys line and girls line, when you're in school. And I thought that was really stupid too. Yeah, so, and then the week before that, we kind of talked about our evolution of gender. I don't know if I can do that in the next 2 minutes, but the short and sweet version, I guess, is I guess I feel a lot more like I did when I was younger at this point. I feel like I had no problem with my gender expression as a kid because I could just do what I want. And then it was only when people started treating me differently, starting in late middle school and all through high school, when people started treating me as a girl instead of a boy, because of how I looked or whatever. That was really um, the part that wasn't authentic for me. I had a fairly, gender neutral childhood. I could do what I wanted. I could have short hair. I could play with the boys. I could do whatever I wanted, right? And I was super outgoing. I was a wise ass. I got really good grades, but I didn't know when to keep my mouth shut. And I was a generally good kid, even though I was a little bit obnoxious. And in late middle school, in high school, I gained a fair amount of weight, even though I worked out. I didn't like the way that I looked. I was a lot more shy and introverted, a lot more quiet, and just yeah, generally not as outgoing. And I feel that with my current gender identity, I'm kind of back to where I was before all of that awkwardness. I'm happy with my body, and I feel like I can be who I want to be, and let my personality out more instead of being worried that people are gonna judge me in a way that I didn't feel was correct. So yeah, yeah. I don't know what else to say at this point, but yeah, I feel just pretty comfortable now. As being more of a guy, but maybe an effeminate guy, but not you know, necessarily being a man or a woman or whatever. I'm just myself, and that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I look forward to hearing everybody else's videos, and I will see you all later. All right, bye.